Today I'll be talking about how to create a budget. This is not a budget based on averages or random numbers, but rather customized to your priorities and available funds. The last thing you want to do is start your life off in debt. Before we jump into the video, if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Kelly Sugano, and I started A Perfect Day Hawaii in 2002 with the goal of providing peace of mind through planning. There's nothing I enjoy more than knowing I'm helping someone to enjoy such a special time in their life, so let's get to it. My process only has 3 steps, and you'll come out with your custom budget without having to spend countless hours researching what vendors are charging just to find out what the average cost is. Finding out what the average cost is can be a waste of time because who's to say what you want is average? If you begin hiring vendors without knowing what your budget is, you are allowing vendors to determine what your budget will be rather than you having any control over it. Okay, I'm going to start off with information you will want to be aware of. What you want to keep in mind is, first of all, always communicate with each other. I had a couple once where the bride would talk with me to secure all of her vendors. And I would ask her how things were going, I would get copies of her contracts, and I could tell there was something that she just wasn't sharing with me yet. So I would talk to her a little bit more, and I found out she was quite worried because she didn't ever add up how much she was spending on her wedding. She was too afraid to know what the total was, and she was even more afraid to let her fiance know what it was. So of course, the first thing we did was we sat down, took out all of her invoices, totaled them up, and we came out with a plan. Once you know what the plan is, you can move forward and feel confident in that without being worried or stressed. Use a dollar amount that is comfortable and not something where you will need to eat instant ramen for months. No one that you would invite that loves you and wants to be there to celebrate with you would ever want you to suffer like that to get them a favor or even a meal. So don't go out of your budget. The other thing you will want to be aware of is gratuities. If you plan to give gratuities to your vendors, please keep that in your budget as well. You don't want to exceed your budget and then have nothing left over if you wanted to do so. There are also some common overlooked costs. For those kinds of things, we do recommend that you put in 10% to your budget just for incidentals, things that you may not realize right now that you're going to need to spend on. Just a quick tip, some things are like invitation, the postage. Don't forget, not only do you have to spend on the invitation, but the postage to send it out as well as the RSVP to come back. What information you need to know to create an accurate budget? The first thing you need to know is your head count, the size of your wedding party, and if anyone's promising to help fund your wedding, you want to make sure that you only count on that funds when you actually have it. The best thing to do is, if it's possible, create a bank account just for your wedding budget. Put everything that you plan to spend in there. If it's not in there yet, it doesn't count as part of your budget. The last thing you want to do is spend the money that someone's been promising only to find out they're no longer able to give it to you. We once had a couple where they planned their entire wedding, and 1 week before their wedding, someone who had promised to pay for something said that they unfortunately could no longer help with it. At that point, the couple had to determine if they were going to spend it out of their own money or if they're just going to have to cancel that contract and lose their deposit. Since we're going to help you to create your custom budget, feel free to pause this video and grab a paper and pencil. Let's get to it. So step 1, list all of your various vendors and items you will need to hire or purchase. Some examples: ceremony venue, your reception venue, photographer, videographer, florist, and hair and makeup. So go ahead and continue that list until you're done. I'll put a list of common types of vendors in the description below to help you, so feel free to pause the video again and write down any vendors you may want to use. Step 2, prioritize each item, vendor, or service so that the most important listed will be first and the least important will be listed last. Feel free to pause the video and discuss together, then reorganize your list. One tip is that if you don't agree on your highest priority, maybe each of you can both choose your highest priority and you'll know that that will be where your focus will go first. Step 3, break apart your budget to assign a dollar amount to each vendor or item. Regardless of what type of vendor or item is on the top, just make sure that the preceding vendor or item must have more money allocated than the next. We'll have another video to show you how to use this information and to stay in complete control of your budget at all times. I'd love to hear how you determined your total budget for your wedding. Did you plan ahead and save with a goal budget in mind? Did you base it off of your current income? Or did you ask your parents for some help? Please let me know in the comments below, as I'd love to hear from you. In another video, I'll show you how to stay in control of your budget that you've just created. This is also the second video in our 4-video series about your wedding budget, so feel free to use the links in the description below if you want to see the others. I'd also like to thank all of the vendors who helped to make this video, so I'll list links to them in the description below. Planning a wedding shouldn't be stressful, and I'm here to help. If you use the link in the description below to sign up for our newsletter, we will notify you when new videos go live, and you'll be directed to a link to download free templates and documents to follow along with our videos. I'd also love to hear from you, so please comment below what you'd like us to discuss, or for more tips and ideas, check us out on social media accounts on Instagram or Facebook at A Perfect Day Hawaii, or our website www.aperfectdayhawaii.com. Happy planning!